Ryan McCaffrey from Official Xbox Magazine here in San Francisco, and it's a huge day. The Xbox 360 Spring Showcase is on. We have an entire auditorium, an entire room full of brand new games for 2012. Let's take a tour and see what they've got. Minecraft. If you don't know it, you soon will. Let's keep going. A random couch. Amazing. Can't wait to pre-order that. More games. This is a good sign. New Gears of War 3 DLC, Forces of Nature. We'll have to be sure to sit down and check that out pretty soon. A left turn brings us to South Park Tenderman's Revenge, a new Xbox Live Arcade game, not to be confused with the role-playing game that Obsidian is doing. Look for this coming to XBLA soon. Darksiders 2, first one was a huge breakout hit. You play one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. How is that not fun? You may have seen this pop up in stores already, the special edition white, shiny white Xbox 360 Connect bundle. If you want a 360 that's white, but you don't want C-3PO plastered all over it in the Star Wars bundle, this is the way to go. Counter-Strike. What would Xbox Live be without a Counter-Strike game? It's got the name Counter-Strike on it. I want to play it.
So Counter-Strike's been around forever. People have been loving it, and so Counter-Strike Global Offensive is the newest, best version. And what we've done is we've actually gone back to the PC community and the 1.6 and CSS community, we've gone back to them and said, hey, help us make this. Help us take the best of both of your worlds, combine them into one, and under one name, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So we've been having an open beta there, and so they're giving us feedback, and not only are they giving us feedback, but as they play, we collect a bunch of data, make a bunch of choices based on that data. We feed it back into the community, they give us feedback on that, and we just keep going in a cycle. But the 360 players aren't missing out, because what they're going to do is they're going to be able to get this game that has been honed, tested, played, and ready for release, more tested than any game we've ever released on the 360. And then something that the Xbox community normally wouldn't be able to get is we're going to take what used to be a PC mod, and that's gun game, and we're going to bring it over to the 360. And that's actually what we're showing today, is Demolition Mode is one, and this is similar to the other Demolition Mode, except it's really tight maps, that you're within seconds seeing the other team, so you have to execute your plan really quickly. And also then you start with the best weapon, and if you do well that round and make a kill, you'll get a worse weapon the next round. But if you're really good, you end up with the fifth round having a knife. And so you're fighting a knife, and if the other guy's really bad, he's got an AK-47. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic.
And how many maps are in this Live Arcade package? 16
maps in total, and they're split pretty evenly between the gun game, or the Arsenal mode and the traditional modes.
Dragon's Dogma, big new RPG from Capcom. Very happening spot. Big group of people crowded around here. I'll bet it's good. Pretty sweet Forza Motorsport 4 rigs. Love that seat. Would like to get that in the living room. Just showing off some new DLC here. Oh, we've been waiting a long time for this one. Trials Evolution, the sequel to Trials HD. Fun fact, our camera guy, Andy, the man behind the camera, Trials is your favorite game, isn't it, Andy? You're really psyched for this.
So I'm showing a track called Downhill Dominator, which shows really good how far you can actually see in Trials Evolution and how big the jumps can be. The bike can handle also much bigger drops than in Trials HD. And the frame rate is still steady, 60 frames per second, all the time. And the VM distance is like a few hundred meters, 500 meters easily, with thousands of objects.
Tiger Woods, which is both gamepad and Kinect. The first game actually trying to do the full sports sim with Kinect. We'll see how that one turns out. Kinect Rush over my left shoulder for the kids. All the Pixar movies in one game. That will probably sell more than 3 or 4 copies, I'm just guessing. And then over my other shoulder is basketball DLC for Kinect Sports Season 2. So it seems like the one major sport they hadn't covered, looks like they got it covered now. And over here, where they just politely said they don't want us to film, Steel Battalion Heavy Armor, a Kinect controller hybrid game. I'm super curious about it. How do you go from a 100-button controller on the original game to, well, almost no buttons with the Kinect and your gamepad? We're gonna check that out, and maybe we just won't be allowed to film. And finally, the Xbox Live Arcade Room. Whole bunch of stuff in here. New game Racketeer for Kinect over my left shoulder. Over here, Diabolical Pitch, which is as weird as it sounds. We'll be sure to check that out. It's from Grasshopper. Over here, a whole slew of stuff. You can't even see, it's so crowded. We've got Joe Danger, the movie, a sequel. Deadlight, which looks fascinating. Trials Evolution. And then over in the corner, Bloodforge. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, the HD remake of the original game, and Quantum Conundrum.
Quantum Conundrum.
It wouldn't be an Xbox 360 Spring Showcase without the one and only Major Nelson, Larry Herb, also in here for the festivities.
Yeah, what do you think?
There's too much to see and do. We're going to need all night.
All night.
Can we do that?
Good thing we're here all night. Hopefully everyone's enjoying it. Of course, we got your coverage on Inside Xbox, our coverage on Inside Xbox. I love your OXM stuff.
Well, you're buttering me up, and that is the quickest way to my heart. I appreciate it. MajorNelson.com.
Yep.
Catch his blog, his podcast,
The Twitter.
his Twitter feed. You have like 400,000 Twitter followers, don't you?
I don't understand it. Apparently they like me talking endlessly about games and the random stuff I run into.
Can you send some of your Twitter followers over our way?
Sure, why not?
Twitter.com/OXM. Check out all our coverage of everything here, OXMOnline.com. There's a lot to get to. Stay tuned.